Cultural Caravan TV can be seen 24/7 on youtube.com at ccptv.org/Louise Dente or Roku TV. Get the Roku TV phone app for Android and iPhones to the Cultural Caravan past and present episodes.
Is a remarkable individual who, at the age of 93, stands as a testament to the power of creativity, cultural celebration, and self-expression. With a background in seamstressing and fashion design, June has dedicated her talents to honoring the history, heritage, and aesthetics of people of African descent. Notably, June has been known for consistently wearing her iconic Afro hairstyle since the 1960s. A bold statement of pride and identity, her unique style caught the attention of Ebony magazine, where she was featured as a model, modeling a particular hairstyle, she'll talk about that more, in a hair care ad showcasing not just her fashion sense, but also her unwavering commitments to embracing her roots. For years, June has been a driving force behind Afrocentric fashion shows, particularly at the annual Gullah Festival in Beaufort, South Carolina. Her passion for showcasing African cultural expressions through fashion has not gone unnoticed, as she has also lent her talents as a fashion designer to esteemed Black theater companies like the Black Spectrum Theater Company, the Hadley Players, and many more. Most recently, June Terry has continued to make an impact in the world of cultural expression, appearing in Louise Dente's new film, American History and Hair-tage, The Struggle for Natural Cultural Expression. Through her work, June Terry exemplifies a deep connection to her heritage, a dedication to celebrating diversity, and a lifelong commitment to empowering others through the art of fashion and self-expression. Let's again give her a well-deserved round. And we have 2 recognitions. We want to thank our public servants. We want to thank the mayor of the city of New York, our mayor, Eric Adams. His office has presented our dear sister with a certificate of recognition presented to her on the occasion of the Cultural Caravan Productions Art Festival, and as a renowned fashion designer, textiles consultant, and off-Broadway costumer. You have shown a lifelong dedication to honoring the history, heritage, and traditions of Africa. Your work and contributions to Afrocentric fashion shows have given diverse New Yorkers an excellent opportunity to deepen their appreciation of African aesthetics and self-expression, and you have left an indelible impact on the cultural fabric of the 5 boroughs. I look forward to the many ways you and CCP Cultural Caravan Productions will continue to elevate people of all backgrounds as we forge a better, brighter, and more inclusive future for our global city. Eric Adams. Thank you.
One thing that we have to keep in mind at all times is our culture. Amen. And that's one thing I taught my children. We have traveled halfway around the world. And I like looking like a queen. So that's why I make things that are queenly like. You'll never see me out there ragged jeans or anything like that. But the whole thing is to know who you are, know your background, know your culture, and try to keep that intact at all times. I teach after school program with little children, and one day I said to the little boy, I said, we're gonna have round paper. He said, why round paper? I said, because you always talk about the corners. Everybody stood on the corner and sung that song. So with the round paper, then you make a circle, and in the middle of your circle is your parents, your heritage. My mother don't have no magazine. She said, we can't afford it. So, I went to the stores and asked them about old magazines and everything. And this kid became really an artist. He started doing collages and everything like that. So it's so wonderful to encourage those children to do art, because art tells the story too. Yeah, I do art. And I grew up in Washington, D.C., where we had segregated school. And a lot of people said segregation was bad. But as far as the school system, it was the best thing that ever happened to black people. Because the teachers were black, and they taught you to be proud of who you was. When you blend all that culture together, it only came from one place and had to come from Africa. So that is what we had to do. We had to teach our children to be proud of who they are. Don't look at every white magazine and say, I gotta dress like that. We don't have to do that. We are the most creative people in the world.
One of my heroes or heroines, her name is Ms. Hazina Itina. She was born in Brooklyn. She went to Erasmus High School and also went to Bay Ridge High School as well. And she has a degree in forensic science from Sullivan County Community College, and also a degree in criminal justice from Sullivan County Community College, and forensic psychology from John Jay. And when she was a teenager, she was a member of Brooklyn Corps and worked with Sonny Carson, Abu Badika, and she was a board member of the Black Women's Health Project in Albany, where she raised her children. She participated in a longitudinal study of Black women's health for over 25 years and received an acknowledgement from the filmmaker Reggie Rock Blythewood, and also the tribe. She taught at Head Start, developmental screening for Head Start as well. And she was a children's counselor for domestic violence. And I look forward to many ways you and Cultural Caravan Production will continue to elevate people of all backgrounds as we forego a better, brighter, and more inclusive future for our global city. Eric Adams, Mayor of the City of New York. How's it come?
I just want to thank you. I grew up in a household where my parents were very active in jazz, and as a teenager, it wasn't negotiable. My father sold tickets, and we went, and I enjoyed going. So, I admired what I saw. I saw the beauty in it, and that's I was blessed to be born into a family where I always knew I was African. I was always able to embrace it because I grew up in an environment where those around me who looked like me didn't. And I had teenage parents, and they taught me better, even though they didn't have the formal training. Just innately, they knew that we were better than our history in this country tells us to be. I'm grateful anyone I might have touched along the way, beautiful. I thank God for the examples that are there.
The City of New York Certificate of Recognition to William Zarrell on the occasion of Cultural Caravan Productions Arts Festival. As Professor Emeritus of African and African American History at Lehman College, you have shown a steadfast commitment to advancing scholarly research about Black Americans and promoting the history and vibrant cultures of Africa. Your work has left an indelible positive impact on your field and has given diverse New Yorkers an opportunity to deepen their appreciation for African history and heritage. I look forward to the many ways you and Cultural Caravan Productions will continue to elevate people of all backgrounds as we forge a better, brighter, more inclusive future for our global city. Eric Adams, Mayor of the City of New York. Let's give him a well-deserved round of applause. And in addition, recognition from Attorney General Tish James' office, recognizing your commitment to support of Cultural Caravan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Louise, and thank everybody for coming out. I'll be very, very brief because I want to be home before it gets dark. I was in Ethiopia in the Peace Corps volunteer, and Aksum is ancient capital. If you ever see photographs, they have these obelisks very high. And the Italians took one when they invaded the country in 1935. And then they brought it back about 10 years ago. But they couldn't figure out quickly how to put it back into the ground so it wouldn't fall, which is a testament to the engineering skills of ancient Ethiopians. Lalibela had 10 churches built out of the mountainside. I went there in 1965. It took me 3 days to walk there. But I wanted to go because I knew it was very historical and for religious purposes. And when I approached it on the outskirts, I saw a Land Rover, and there was Haile Selassie in the Land Rover. But I met him earlier. I met him in 1963 at the reception when we first arrived in the country. And I'll conclude by saying, it's my effort trying to put the light on our history, because Sir Hugh Trevor Roper, an Englishman, said the history of Africa is that of the British and other Europeans. Everything else is dark. So I've been trying to put the light on our history because I grew up in a time period when everything was dark. I didn't have any history ourselves. High school, or in college. I had one course on the PhD level that I could have taught at that point. So it's been my objective for about the last 60 years to put the light so we can illuminate what we have accomplished.
Thank you.
Hair discrimination against African Americans and other individuals has numerous negative impacts.
Well, in Africa, prior to the Europeans coming to enslave people and bring them to the Americas, people had an identity.
Many African Americans have faced discrimination in the workplace due to their natural hair.
The impact of slavery separated families, the separation from husbands and wives, mothers from children.
Policies and practices that target natural hairstyles can result in missed job opportunities or even termination based on appearance.
What the media seeks to fill those spaces in, the stereotypes, the lies.
Hair discrimination can also impact students, create a hostile learning environment, and hinder academic success.
Well, if slavery tells us that those who control us are the epitome of beauty and intelligence, then you want to be like them.
The Crown Act is a legislative movement aimed at ending hair discrimination based on race and hair texture.
We are embracing our culture more now than before.
The act seeks to ensure that traits historically associated with race are protected from discrimination in schools and workplaces. Hairstyles are more than mere adornments. They are symbols of strength, of resilience, of the unbreakable bond between past, present, and future. But despite the diversity, there is a common thread that binds them all, a celebration of beauty in its purest form. Come with us on this journey, our struggle, our expression, our history and heritage.
Flying this morning all the way from Texas, but like I tell people, I never need an excuse to visit Harlem. It's always a good thing to come and be in the Black Mecca, right?
Yes.
So as you know, Louise mentioned, I'm the founder of Colorism Healing. I've been doing this work since 2011 and have a TED Talk on it. Feel free to Google me. There is a blurb in the brochure. So I want to explain just in casual words what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So it's one thing to sit and receive presentations and go to galleries and museums, but what I like to do is give people tools and practices that you can use with yourself, with your families, how to start conversations with your children, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews, right? Because a lot of times we learn about the history, we learn the information, we know what the problems are, and everyone asks me, okay, so then what can I do about it, right? What can I do with my colleagues at work? What can I do for my own self? And we know that we have faced a lot as a people from outside, but one of the greatest tragedies is when we internalize that and then start to cause harm to ourselves and to each other. And so the name of the workshop is Transforming How We See Ourselves and How We See Each Other. When I look in the mirror, do I see beauty? Do I feel respect? Do I feel pride and dignity? But realizing that I'm not just talking about literal mirrors, but when I look into your eyes, you are also a mirror. You are also a mirror. And so do I look at my brothers and sisters across the diaspora and also feel pride in them across the variety of skin tones and hair textures and body types and sizes and where we come from, languages that we speak as Black people. And so part of our liberation, we're on the heels of Juneteenth, woohoo, is, not just the legal freedom, not just legislative freedom, but that psychological, emotional, and spiritual freedom as well. And so you'll have a chance to engage in deep conversations and dialogue, but I'm also gonna put you to work. So if you do come, bring something to write with. I'm really gonna have us sit with the experiences we've had growing up. Some people have had, unfortunately, really painful experiences throughout their lives. And so we're gonna have a safe space to unpack that and process that. And that's often a space that not a lot of Black people have had, right? We think about what has been traumatic in our past and how we celebrate our culture. A lot of times we need to create space to say, this is where I've been hurt, and here's how I want to move forward from there. So if that sounds interesting to you, the ages, I would say 12 to 13 and up. So if you want to bring someone younger who might need that kind of work and self-empowerment, feel free to bring them along as well. Okay, thank you all.
This is an expression of freedom, and so please put your hands together for our beautiful children who are going to grace us with the presentation. But to help assist me, we needed some escort because we have somebody else that won. This is my Shaw brother. All right, show what you got on. He got his much long pants and his little top.
The Sokola Brathwaite.
That's right.
Thank you so much. That was such a wonderful presentation from Norway and those beautiful children. And what that shows us is that we're going to be okay. Because the Grandassa Models, that started back in the 60s. But to see those young children now embracing it, and the dedication of women like Norway, who not only is into fashion, but she takes amazing care of Black Rose. So she's actually going to, she's actually, the way that she was commentating, she's going to help us with our presentation because the Grandassa Models were role models. It wasn't about fashion per se. What we did, we did feature the fashion, we featured natural hair, but the whole idea was to educate our people about who we really are.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's a part of the Grandassa tradition.
The last exit room, we were all bursting with pride in anticipation of going to the motherland, eager to touch the soil of a country replete with Black faces that reflected our own. We were going to Ghana, West Coast Africa. 6 hours of flying to find something we as Americans had lost, our history, our beginnings. The mood on the plane was nothing less than joyful. 25 of us were on a journey most African Americans have not taken.
In 1956, inspired by the philosophies of Marcus Garvey and the work of the African National Pioneer Movement and its founder, Carlos Cooks, 6 young Black creatives, Ilambe Brath, Kwame Brathwaite, Robert Gums, Chris Asamendisi's Hall, Frank Adu, and David Ward, founded the African Jazz Arts Society and Studios, AJAZ, with the goal of restoring racial pride by emphasizing our lost African traditions. When Carlos Cooks issued a call for the term Negro to be replaced with the terms Black and African, AJAZ responded to that call, pushing these new ideas of Black consciousness forward in the Black community.
And I'm at your service. All I've ever wanted to do my adult life is to serve this beautiful Black and noble race. Hence, I'm UNIA. But it's just an organization, it's just a government. But why do we exist? We exist for the redemption of Africa for the Africans.
Yes, sir.
Those at home and those abroad.
Yes, sir.
Wherever you are, that's your home, you make it better. We need to go back to Africa, but it's not going to happen today, or tomorrow, or even next week. But until we do that, wherever we're at, we make it better. Whatever Africa is going to need, we needed to do it. We need to control our economics. We need to control law enforcement. We need to have the education work for us. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's my pleasure to be here. And before I start, I have to thank Sister Louise Dente. Give that up! And let me say, it was a pleasure to see the little children. Sister Mel, excellent job.